I know how much I love Madeline, and I have no doubt that Madeline knows how much, I love her. And I think, I know that, and I've just got to think, regardless of what all those people say out there, those bloggers and people on the forums who obviously get some kind of kick out of being nasty, I know that, and I know Madeline knows that, and I've just got to kind of keep hold of that, really.
In the light of the sun, is there anyone? Oh, it has begun. Oh dear, you look so lost. Eyes are red and tears are shed. This world you must have crossed, you said. You don't know me, and you don't even care. Oh yeah. She said, you don't know me, and you don't wear my chains. Oh yeah, yeah.
Despite there being so much we wish to say, we are unable to do so, except to say this. We have played no part in the disappearance of our lovely daughter, Madeline.
Yet appealed. Carry all your thoughts across an open field. When flowers gaze at you, they're not the only ones who cry when I see you. You said you don't know me, and you don't even care. Oh yeah. And she said you don't know me, and you don't.
Have you talked to Mr. Bennett? Why waste your breath? Mr. Bennett, if he's watching, I have to wonder what his personal motives for this are. He has a history of associating himself with high-profile cases. Kate and Jerry have committed no offence under any country's law. They accept they made a mistake that night, and they are paying the greatest price for it. To compound that agony and misery by trying to launch spurious, self-serving, publicity-seeking enterprises such as a private prosecution, which was doomed to fail from the outset, is, well, it's beyond contempt, I'm afraid.
A lot of the forums are very, very speculative and alternative, and someone makes a suggestion and that suggestion just gets off and running, and people just expand on it, and next thing you know, you're reading it in a newspaper or hearing it elsewhere, and because it sort of does the rounds so much, it gives it credence, but it doesn't for us.
This turns a little Maddie McCann.
I'll take anything that's thrown at me, but number one is getting my daughter back, without doubt.
Yeah, we
It's 0845 838 4699.
In the light of the sun, is there anyone? Oh, it has begun. Oh dear, you look so lost. Eyes are red and tears are shed. This world you must have crossed, you said. You don't know me, and you don't even care. Oh yeah. She said you don't know me, and you don't wear my chains. Oh yeah, yeah. was an open field. When flowers gaze at you, they're not the only ones who cry when they see you. You said you don't know me, and you don't even care. Oh yeah. She said you don't know me, and you don't wear my chains.
And grow up, I think, haven't you?
I don't think anybody's either told me to go away or to grow up.
Oh, well, let me be the first to do that, then. Go away and grow up. I think that's probably the best information and best advice anybody can really give you.
Well, would you like to hear what the Leicestershire Magistrates Court said in response to our application? Because basically all they said was defective was that they were not persuaded that my application for a summons against the McCanns was in the right jurisdiction.
Yeah, well, I think they probably wanted to pass it along and get out of the way. Presumably, Mr. Bennett, you don't have a family.
Well, it's interesting you should say that. I have 2 children, and I have 1 grandchild, whom, by the way, is just over 2 years old, and I look after...
Well, I'm amazed in that case that you don't have a little more sympathy for the McCanns, who must be going through absolute hell at the moment, and you just want to make their lives even worse. What sort of person are you?
Well, what I want to do is to raise some concerns about the issue of child neglect, and of course the McCanns have admitted to leaving their children on their own while going out boozing 6 nights in a row.
I can't speak to you anymore, Mr. Bennett. You are making my stomach churn. I can't speak to you anymore. I really can't. I'm very sorry. You've had your right of reply, but quite frankly, I think to do this to people who are in this position is the most despicable and disgusting thing I have ever heard.
You're making one key assumption, and that is that Madeleine actually was abducted. That is the...
Nobody knows what happened, and until, you know, we don't need people like you trying to pour more flames on these troubled waters. I would suggest you leave it to the people involved, and you continue to enjoy your early retirement.
Well, I've had amazing support all over the country, hundreds of people emailing me saying that I was right to bring this...
Well, I'm one who thinks you're an idiot, and I think you're probably looking for a little bit of publicity, which I, of course, am giving you. I'm slapping myself verbally while I'm talking to you. But quite frankly, I want you to know that not everybody supports you, Mr. Bennett.
Oh, I'm well aware of that. I'm well aware of that. I would say to you that those who support me tend to be those who've researched the case.
Bye-bye, Mr. Bennett. Good night. We're terminating this now. Now you're being rude to me. I've had enough. I can't believe it. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have inflicted that on myself, really. But Mr. Bennett considers that he is going to try. I presume, Mr. Bennett, before you do go, you're going to continue with this, are you?
Well, me personally, probably not. But several people, well, several dozen people, are very keen to meet and possibly set up a trust.
Okay, Mr. Bennett. Thank you very much indeed. We get the idea. I'm sorry. That was just. You're gonna have to play something because I put myself in such a flipping bad mood now. I'm gonna have to walk out and walk around, do something else.